Hey everyone, welcome. Doesn't this place look beautiful?
It is amazing. Thank you for coming tonight. We are so happy to have you here.
And hello to everyone watching us online.
Everybody way to the back.
Hi!
This is Ariane, my co-host. He loves music and film.
Hey everyone.
He can be very enthusiastic when he wants to be.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Like when you're getting cameras ready for shooting a video.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, this is my co-host and great friend Yaneli. She also loves music and loves dancing, but she can be very goofy when she wants to be.
How long you guys known each other?
4 years since we were 11 years old.
10 years old. I'm a year younger.
Sorry. Anyway, where do you go to school, Ariane?
I go to City Arts and Tech High School.
Aren't you graduating soon?
Yeah, in about 3 weeks.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're only in 8th grade, so we have a few years left to go.
Advice I would like to give you guys for 9th grade is to build good study habits. That will work better in college. Yes. And I also like to introduce my co-host Brianna, who loves music and everything to do with media. Yaneli, I hear Brianna's a prankster. Is that true?
Yes, she is a big prankster. You have no idea how long she has been pranking me for the last 4 years straight. Like this right now. Do you see this?
Okay. We don't want to make a prank out of this, but we are definitely here to have fun.
Well, it has been fun hanging out with you after school here at Big Cat for the last 2 semesters.
What did you guys learn in the past 2 semesters?
Big Cat helps us learn who we are.
How long have you been here, Diarion?
I've been at Big Cat for about 4 years, and now I'm currently working as a TA.
Speaking of working, did you guys know that there's a whole other group that works with different corporations in Baycat to create different videos, to spread different messages all throughout the community?
And Baycat also provides work for the Warriors and the National Park Services.
Here is a video that Big Cat produced for Healthy Parks, Healthy People Bay Area. See if you can recognize anyone. Roll it!
That was hilarious.
But the part with the tent?
And when James and Josh were running?
Yeah, that was hilarious. But the main part of this film was to teach kids to get out more and not just like stay inside and be on their cell phones and watching TV. No. Get outside and do something good with your life.
Like when Diarion and the advanced filmmakers were doing.
Yeah, I got to work with Per Odell, an advertising agency that helped us promote a film to fight for diversity in the tech industry. You guys want to see it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, roll it.
I was kind of intimidated by like programming a little bit because like everybody knows it has like that stigma of like being like male white dominated, and like I'm like the opposite of that. So I was like, oh my God, can I actually do this? We've had like a lot of conversation about like how companies are going about like searching for minorities. I never really knew any like software engineers that were like female, one, Black at all.
So this is a classroom where we're teaching computer science to minorities and anybody who's interested in high schools in San Francisco. The goals of Mission Bit are to get more minorities in tech as well as San Francisco youth in tech.
90% of the people who are making these products are white males or Asian males. And it doesn't like make sense how like you're making a product for millions of people from diverse backgrounds, and the people engineering it aren't from like representing or reflecting that like population at all. So I feel like it's really important that we have the people who are engineering it are like reflecting the people that are actually using the product. I could give any message to girls that are interested in coding. I would definitely tell them to just be fearless, like go for it. This summer I'm working at Google. Like that's crazy. Like I never imagined like being able to like have these opportunities, but they're out there, and I definitely encourage girls to just go for it.
Because lots of schools still don't even have introductory programming classes. Also, there's a lot of stereotypes. I have to be really good at math. I have to be all these things, so people are scared to take those classes. So we get a lot of those students that were scared, and we show them it's not all about math. You can just build awesome projects. There's lots of different ways to get into it.
But don't be intimidated. That's the thing. Don't be intimidated. I was, but you know, we gotta fight through it, and it's gonna be great.
I liked it.
I loved it because you get to see girls and women doing things that men can do. It is possible.
Thanks, guys. I'm happy that you liked it, and happy everyone else liked it. Right now, I'd like to introduce the woman that started this company that gave me the reason why I want to be a filmmaker, Villy Wong.
Yeah!
Hey, everybody! Let's give it up to the amazing host. They have to hear you from backstage. Woo! Wow, how beautiful are you? And you're up there. Hey, did you guys know there are people upstairs too? Wow, hi. Wow. Well, what a night. Thank you so much for being here. And I have to, now that they're sharing some stuff, I have to share some things with you. So last November, I got to do one of the scariest things I ever did in my life, and that was to give a TED Talk. I want to give a shout out to Michaela at IBM, because it was on the TED at IBM stage, and it was a place where I had to really think deeply about what I wanted to share. I'd love to show you a little bit of it. Let's roll it. It was a Sunday afternoon. My mom and I were headed home. 2 teenagers stopped us. They each had a knife. And before we knew what was happening, one had a knife at my throat and the other aimed his knife toward my mother's stomach. Home was the housing projects in New York City on the Lower East Side. I was 7 years old. This mugging happened in a cold steel elevator that smelled like ammonia and felt like a prison cell. We couldn't escape. We couldn't escape. Have you had a moment, maybe it was today, maybe it was this week, maybe it was this month, where you just felt trapped and you couldn't escape? Hopefully it wasn't a moment that was so memorable for me and that it was brutal or violent, but that I know is reality, it happens. So as you think of that, we can't escape. That's what I grew up with. And this show about ancestry, let's face it, I did escape, right? And I escaped because of my mother's story. The kids, as you'll learn, will tell you, and the show has retaught me, that it's who you are today is where you come from. And I wasn't always proud of where I came from. You relate? And therefore, someplace along the way, there needs to be that journey that I know we all take when you have those moments you feel like you can't escape. It's that journey where it's perhaps your ancestry that makes you come alive. And that is my mom. She was my hero, my shiro. She really did everything and ended up opening up her own business, putting herself through fashion school, and made enough money and moved us out of the projects. She literally helped us escape. But she never believed her story mattered. And at the very heart of why we are all here tonight was I wanted that to never be the issue for anybody, because everyone deserves to believe that they matter, that their story matters, that their ancestry, good, bad, and ugly, matters, right? So for all those people, let's take a minute together and really think about this, because my family is gone. Everybody has passed away. And hopefully you still have people in your lives. And as we think about this journey, it's perhaps your ancestry, those that you are born with or those that you choose. And let's take a moment together, and maybe there's somebody out there that helped you to escape, even for a brief moment. Let's say their names together. Let's bring them to this room. Margaret is my mom's name. Let's hear it. Say their names. Yes. Oh, thank you. That matters. So as you watch the show tonight, think about that. And perhaps it's going to inspire you to think about your own ancestry, those things that you're proud of and those that you aren't. I talk a lot about my mom. I don't talk about the men in my family for a reason. That's going to be the next TED Talk, maybe. TED people, are you listening? But as we know, the other huge thing that helped me to escape is really the community and the environment that I got to grow up with, the teachers that made a difference. Thank you. Anybody in here a teacher? Yes. Thank you. We need more love for teachers. Teachers! If you are a parent of these young people, or you're the chosen parent of these young people, let's give a shout out to you. Let's hear it. Oh, there's more. Parents! It's the community of people. So as a young person, it's school, your mentors. So I believe, and this is why I started BayCat. BayCat is this place for these young people as young as 11 to 17. But guess what? We've got to work. We've got to be able to make our own living, and we have to live out our passions. So I believed in creating this career pathway. And as they talked about, you saw HPHP, Healthy Parks, Healthy People. Yes. Not only can we tell great messages, let's make a business out of this, yes? And let's teach people to do well, but also let's be able to create a business that is socially just, that thinks about positive messages for people. And that's what BakeHat is. So guess what? We get to model this, and these guys were just helping me not be nervous backstage, okay? They are my mentors. They are teaching me. And hopefully tonight you get to learn something from them. Because I do believe as a professional studio, we're here to mentor each other. Our young people get to save us on those days we can't escape. Our community leaders, Mission Bit, there's so many community organizations. As a matter of fact, BakeHat has already done media for over 200 nonprofits. And it's gonna take the entire village, and now we've got young people from 18 to 25 who help to make videos. I'm gonna show you one that they also help to create, along with our studio, that features our young people, right? It's a circle that keeps giving back. We're helping each other. And to the extent we help our community or share messages that help you find the resources, we're making our city and each other stronger. And we help each other escape out of those prisons that we feel, hopefully not every day, but that we feel. Do you agree? Thank you. So, I think as you watch, I want to present this next little video. It was a fun video that was birthed by the whole BakeHat team. It was an idea that was in the running. But talk about young people teaching us something. Let's roll that.
Hi, my name is Yurian. We're at the BakeHat Studios, and we're here to talk about framing. Framing is the practice of positioning your subject or subjects in relation to one another in the edges of the screen. It helps let your audience know where to put their attention. Prioritizing the wrong thing can distract from your intentions. So, what is good framing? Start your subject off with a nice medium shot, just off center. Leave a little bit of headroom, but not too much. Prioritize your subject and leave the unimportant things to the background. Hey. And from there, you can get creative. Cutting off your subject with the edge of the frame can heighten tension. Dutch angle. Heroic! Dejected. Single. Cause who needs two?
Double.
Dramatic. Symmetrical. Handheld.
House class.
Pretty good. Over the shoulder.
Money shot.
Wide. Medium. Close up. Extreme close up. The end.
That was fun, wasn't it? So that's a fun example. We're trying to put this out in social media. Hopefully you saw it. Please share it. But that's an idea, and we wanted to show you something that was truly about creating in a collaborative way, right? Because it was an idea that the studio had, but then the interns helped to make it, and of course we have our wonderful youth starring in it. And that's exactly the village. We have mentors. We have board members that are here. Give a shout out, board members. We have dozens and dozens of volunteer mentors. If you're a mentor for BakeHat, give a shout out. Woohoo! I know you're in the audience. So it really does take that entire village. And our board chair is from Pixar. We finally got our first person hired at Pixar. We have 2 people at Lucasfilm, at Wired. We even have people working for the Warriors. No, they're not playing basketball, but they're doing the broadcasting. That's pretty amazing, as well as the San Francisco Giants productions. So when you talk about creating this journey, the vision of BakeHat was to have your story matter and to help our story and the stories of these young people, because who knows where their stories are going, yes? And as they become so socially just at the ages of 11 to 17 to 25, my goodness, I wasn't that conscious. Were you? I know those days when things still feel hard. These guys are my hope, as I hope they are yours. And let's bring on one of the most amazing hosts again, Darian. Hi, beautiful person.
Hi there.
So I understand we have to share some news. You are graduating in 3 weeks, as you said. You're going to college?
Yes, I am.
Where are you going to college?
I'm going to the Academy of Art University.
And you're how old, Darian?
17.
And guess what? He already declared his major. Were you that together when you were 17? You want to tell people what your major is?
Motion pictures and television.
Darian, thank you for having just that vision for yourself and for sharing that with the world. We love you so much. And as now a mentor, here you are giving advice to the other young people. We also have, let's give a shout out to Stella. Is Stella in the audience? Stella, are you in the audience? Okay, anyway, Stella is another senior who is also graduating this year, and she is going to UC Santa Cruz, also studying filmmaking. So let's just tell them, what other thing did you take away from doing this 1 minute at Baycat?
From doing 1 minute at Baycat, I was saying acting is a very hard job. I appreciate every person that does it because I messed up numerous of times, but it turned out all right, I guess.
And do you want to give a shout out to anybody on the making of that?
I would actually. I'd like to give a shout out to Terrence and the rest of the interns for help producing this. Thank you, guys.
So, I want to bring out the other hosts in a second, but in your programs, please note there is a survey, and we really, so as Baycat is going on its journey, we're going to be 13 years old this year, and we want to hear from you what you need next, what you would like to see. So before you leave today, make sure you fill out that survey. When you want to hear what what the audience wants.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other thing you'll see is a donation envelope. There will be people greeting you outside, but also think about it. Thank you for all the people who purchased a ticket to be here today. This event was free, but we already raised $700. Thank you for your donations tonight. Let's see if we could get it up to $2,000. So even if you're giving up a cup of coffee every month, is it about $10 a month now? Yeah. So that's like $120. If each one of you did that, we would hit our goal. So think about that, okay? Are we ready to bring back the hosts? Yeah. All right. So without further ado, let's bring back Yaneli and Brianna.
That was so funny.
Yeah. Money shot!
I'm glad you guys like the film. I know this Zoom In is about ancestry, so what do you guys think about it?
It's a very interesting topic since it reminds us of the past.
And everywhere we go, we see people being bullied because of their race. It doesn't matter what color we are, we're all the same deep down.
For me, knowing about your answers is mainly knowing about yourself.
And now for the moment that you've all been waiting for.
Drum roll, please. Go.
The world premiere of
Zoom In, episode 37, Seeds to
Seeds to
Trees.
Roll
Roll
It.
it.
It's like James Brown saying, "I'm black and I'm proud," back in the 60s. A lot of people were like, yeah, you know what? I am black and I'm proud. You know, when they might have thought it, but it needed someone to say it in a musical form to unlock that. My name is Jason Valerio, AKA Trackademics, and I'm a professional musician. We're here now, but there was a sound that came before us. There were people that came before us. Those people weren't too different from us, you know, when we listened to the topics that they were singing about. Music definitely is like almost a window, a connection to the past.
My name is Louis Watts, and I'm a photographer. I'm an archivist. Someone who's an actor who grew up in the Fillmore, Danny Duncan, and he said on a Friday night in the 50s and early 60s, from Hayes Street to Post, which is like, you know, that's half a mile, at a Friday night, it would be filled with black people, you know, going to and from the clubs, and that doesn't happen anymore because San Francisco is one of the few major cities with a diminishing African American population because people can't afford to live here. When Pearl Harbor happened, the shipyards in Hunters Point and in Oakland and Richmond and different places were changing from making civilian ships to making ships and tanks for the war effort, and they needed people to work there. So people came from the South, they brought their interest in jazz and blues and black music and culture, and that's exactly why at its height it was called the Harlem of the West, because it was a thriving black population and community in the middle of San Francisco.
When it comes to the contribution of African Americans to modern music, the roots are so deep. All American forms of music have been touched by African Americans. You know, you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. A lot of hip hop that comes out, we don't know that a lot of those choruses and hooks that they're doing, or a lot of lyrics they might be saying, are borrowed from older hip hop and borrowed from like soul music and jazz music.
A lot of musicians who had come to San Francisco to play, they weren't allowed to be able to stay in hotels downtown. And so they would stay in the Fillmore, and after they had maybe done their gig, they would come and there would be jam sessions. John Coltrane became a really famous musician who played with Miles Davis. And so this is a sort of evidence that someone who went on to become a very famous international musician sort of learned part of his craft by doing these jam sessions.
Just 100 years after Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation that freed the slaves.
Check this out, man. We rolling this way. That march in 1963, that was a bit of nonsense. We ain't rolling like that no more. Matter of fact, the young black America, we rolling up with seminars, press conferences, and straight up rallies. Am I right? We gonna get what we got to get.
While you might not be able to do certain things you want to do because of the laws back then, music was something that was always a way to express yourself. When we listened to the topics that they were singing about, some of the struggles that they were representing through their art.
There's a direct link from the sort of means of expression from slave times, which were kind of field hollers and spirituals that evolved into the blues, evolved into jazz, they evolved into rhythm and blues and to hip hop. And there's a direct line that goes through time. And all of those from different times are the ways that we both determine who we are and express who we are and express what we're going through.
Being from the Bay Area, it's really all about intersectionality. And I really feel like in order to represent that type of melting pot, I like to take music from different genres in different places and kind of mix them all together. Music is really a reflection of people. If you can make music that a lot of different types of people will like, you know, those people may start to get together and form friendships and bonds and a whole new scene. And then that helps our communities get better. It helps our communities start to interact and be friends with people you might not have been friends with before. You know, the art that comes from here, a lot of it's always pushing the boundaries of what, you know, social boundaries, whether it's racism, you know, sexism, gay rights. The Bay Area has always been on the cusp of that. The wonderful thing about music is just emotion. You can make people feel certain things by just having certain sounds and certain instruments. And I feel like that's not gonna go away. As long as we can hear, we're gonna be making music.
This is my music.
This is our music.
This is the music of my people. The music that we worked for.
The music that we were beaten for.
The music that we played when we were low.
The music that we played for joy.
This is Black music history.
I knew I was German American and Austrian. I knew I had English and Welsh roots.
Well, I knew I was half Chinese, but I was really sort of unsure as to what the rest of the composition of my European ancestry was. My name is Taylor Michael Tan, and I'm a high school math teacher. I've traced my ancestry a little bit further on my mother's side than on my father's due to my grandfather on my dad's side being an orphan. On my mother's side, Northern European from the British Isles, and then also some of the Yugoslavian and Baltic area. But we don't really have a ton of information about who the rest of the family members were. In the past, I've done a little bit more research into my family history, but I've never really used any other official tools in order to learn more about my ancestry.
I'm Sabrina, and I am a doctoral psychology student. I'm half German. My mother is from Germany. I'm 5 or 4 generations back Austrian. So I used Ancestry.com in order to get a fuller picture of my family. Talking to my parents and extended family aided the process of using Ancestry.com. And the more basic information I inputted into Ancestry.com, the richer of a picture they could trace back.
We want to understand where our ancestors have been, what they've done, and it makes us feel connected to them, and it makes us understand ourselves and our history a little better. Ancestry.com is unique because it has a combination of researching family history in a very strong way and the DNA component. It started about 30 years ago as a family history publishing company and grew from there. Looking from the point of view of the client, when they start to build their ancestry, they're going to start with what they know. So they will definitely know when they were born and where they were born. And then they've put down their parents' information. And if they have any ancestry information about their grandparents, they can put that into the tree as well. The wonderful thing about Ancestry is that the computer will put documents, connect them to the people you have named on the tree so that you will suddenly see how it connects. We worked very hard to get records from all sorts of archives, for example, from the National Archives, where they collected records, and they have collaborated with many other organizations and ended up with 20 billion records from 80 countries. So that's the first step. And if you hit brick walls, a great next step is to test your DNA, and that can really help the process along. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks to test the DNA samples. We have so many samples in our database that it's very productive. Once somebody tests their DNA, they can compare the results to others and get very interesting information.
Definitely found some surprising information. I was very unaware that we had any Scandinavian ancestry, and that was pretty cool to find out. I know that my mom was sure that she was half Irish and half Yugoslavian, and clearly that is not the case.
It really gave me a rich understanding of the customs and traditions of my family. My great-grandparents worked on farms, were potato farmers. That was pretty new for me. On my maternal grandparents, they owned a machine shop. So those were pretty big insights into my family roots.
I feel pretty empowered by knowing more about my ancestry. It really shows that all of us are connected. I mean, I knew that everyone was going to share a significant portion of genetics with any other human being, but it was cool to see that reflected in the data. My family isn't super close with our extended family, so knowing more about my extended family wasn't really something that I was super interested in, but given the opportunity to do so, I feel like I learned a lot and am interested in looking deeper now.
It actually just made me more curious and want to use the system even more. I care about my ancestry because I think it brings a lot of insight into where we've been, where we've come from, and it brings a lot of understanding of how I've been shaped and who I am today.
Now that I know more about my ancestry, I feel like I have a better perspective on how to talk about race and genetics with my students, with the public, and with my friends and family.
You want to take one marker?
I am Akil Carrillo and I'm white and Latino.
At school, when you were talking about how people might not expect you to know Spanish or they read you as something that you're not, I'm just curious, how does that make you feel?
I don't know, I kind of like proving them wrong.
I grew up in Guatemala for the first 4 years of my life until I moved to San Francisco. Being mixed race makes me feel more comfortable in many different places. Over my life, I started noticing that there are a lot of mixed people. Most people are mixed, but they are hidden, so hidden that some people don't even know they're mixed.
The theme of ancestry has sort of been the guiding force in my life, I think since I can remember. The name that arose for me was Mitlan, which means death in Nahuatl, and Xochi, which means flowers. So I like to translate it in English as the person who brings transformation to death.
My name is Lauren Crew, and I'm a photographer. I'm half black and I'm half white, and I definitely identify with that. I know some people who identify as black when they're half, or white, or either or.
I often identify as a Chicana, Indigena, biracial woman.
When I started to try and like straighten my hair and cut my bangs, and I thought that was normal, but then when I would come home and my brothers and my mom and people would sort of say things like, why are you trying to be like all the girls at school? Being mixed, you get stereotyped sometimes from both sides. Certain people who are like, oh, you're mixed, you must be exotic and you must be, and you're just like, dude, I was born in LA. I guess from about 18 to about 30, 31, the body of work that I was working on was all about grief and loss after having lost my mother. And it was a very deep self-exploration of the experience I went through.
I had a classmate who came up to me one day and he told me, Angela, you're really lucky, that you're mixed race because you can see things from multiple perspectives. And I didn't quite understand it at the time because I was caught up in wanting to belong to something. And I saw my mixed race as a barrier of belonging because I didn't really identify with white American culture. My grandparents were migrant workers and they didn't like to talk a lot about their past. I said a prayer asking for guidance to reconnect to my ancestry, to reconnect to my indigenous heritage that would help me relate to Mother Earth. I like to think that my ancestors are always with me, and my ancestors are reminders to never let your mixed ancestry be a space to doubt who you are and your purpose in this world, and that we're as valuable just as much to one side of our lineage as to the other. And sometimes that's a greater responsibility because there's a lot of healing to do when different lineages come together. Being mixed race is an opportunity to beg the question and to ask, well, how do I fit into this story? I think it opens up a whole new world of possibilities around self-determination. And because of the struggles and the challenges, I hope it makes me more empathetic and more courageous to include other people's stories beyond my own.
For me, being mixed race is really a lucky thing because I can relate to different people. Being mixed is like having two lives.
I remember as clear as day. I began to wear a mask to cover who I really am. I was too shy to show people what I really felt and decided to not be me at all.
Hey dudes, why'd the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? You okay, dude? Later, dude.
May I be excused?
Okay.
What's this? Why were you hiding it?
Oh, it's just a mask. There's nothing of it.
If that's true, then why would you hide it?
Fine. I use it to cover when I feel too nervous to talk to anyone. I know this is off topic, but you guys seem so outgoing. Is there anyone in our family who is like me?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't always as outgoing. When I came here from the Philippines, I wasn't as confident as now. And to be honest, I'm not as outgoing as you think I am. I've just gotten a lot better at being around people. To be honest, you're a lot like me.
Okay. I like to thank my parents for helping me feel stronger while I'm at home. It makes me feel better after school. Not that I hate school by all means, but I feel nervous at times to talk to people except for my close friends. I guess all I really want to say is thank you.
Mom, I'm home.
Hey, honey, how was practice?
These shoes are dead, Mom. I can't run in these.
Let's see.
Why are you looking at me like that?
There's a pair of shoes that your dad never wore that I think they might fit you. They're in the red box in the closet upstairs.
Mom?
Jonas, can you join me? The first thing I need to tell you is that I love you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jonas.
This is real?
Yes, this is real, sweetie.
Why wouldn't you tell me?
You know, I guess I was afraid. afraid of making you feel alone, afraid of losing you. Can we talk?
I don't want to talk.
I love you.
She's my mother, and I'm her son.
He's my son, I'm his mother.
My name is Eliana Cervantes, and I teach 7th grade nonfiction studies here in San Francisco.
My name is Debbie Kajiyama, and I am a performance artist.
My mom was looking for more opportunities and a better life here. Most of her siblings had already moved to the United States.
So my great-grandparents came to the United States from Japan around the turn of the century.
My parents came from Japan. My father left Japan and first went to Peru. He went to work on a plantation. In 1920, he went back to Japan and married my mother, and she came over. And they lived in the Central Valley of California for most of their life. They were farmers. My mother was a farm laborer just as well as my father.
I knew that I was moving, but I didn't really understand that I was moving to a new country and what it meant to be an immigrant, but even an illegal immigrant coming into the United States. I think my 5-year-old brain didn't really grasp that yet.
What's interesting to me is to sort of look back through history and realize how much of that has impacted our lives today, my life, and even the younger generations today, with how we think about what we're trying to be and do in the society, and where all of that comes from, and kind of unpack it.
Well, I still remember when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor and how scared I was to go to school the next day. I still remember that.
When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, our west coast became a potential combat zone. Living in that zone were more than 100,000 persons of Japanese ancestry. Military authorities therefore determined that all of them, citizens and aliens alike, would have to move. This picture tells how the mass migration was accomplished.
We were put in one room with no partitions. Just all that was in the bed was a cot and an army blanket. No tables, no chairs, no running water, no sink, no toilet. We had to eat our meals in a mess hall, every meal. So we never ate with our families. We just ate with whoever. And most of the people stayed there for 3 or 4 years. The worst part was when we came back. None of my previous friends would talk to me or play with me. They acted like they didn't know me. I still remember my sister and I would walk home from school, and this high school boy, this white boy, would follow us in his car every day and yell at us.
The fact of the matter is it was incarceration because the majority of the Japanese Americans were American citizens. We're no longer referring to it as internment camps. We're referring to it as concentration camps because that's really what they were. When the Japanese Americans were incarcerated, it was done so very much on false information. And it was only proven decades after the fact that all the key information they relied upon as rationale to lock up Japanese Americans was completely, was fake. Using the Japanese American incarceration experience is an important lesson that can be used to combat a lot of what people are proposing right now.
There hasn't, before this administration, there has never been a time, at least in my life, where I felt unsafe as an immigrant in this country. There's always, been dislike or even hatred towards immigrants. I personally never experienced that until this administration. I think there's also a lot of stress as someone who depends on the immigration system here for my work and for just staying here. There was definitely a lot of stress on whether I would be able to stay here beyond this, this academic year of teaching.
Well, what sent Japanese Americans to the concentration camps was President Roosevelt signed an executive order, just one signature. That's all it took to send. Congress didn't have to do anything. He just signed an executive order, and 120,000 people got sent to a concentration camp. That's scary. And what to me is more scary is our current president says that was the right thing to do. He has said that.
There's a fine line between being a witness and an actor. Like when you are a witness of something, especially something so unjust or tragic, that it sort of impels you to action. Like you have to start to think, okay, what is wrong with this situation and what is it that I can do in order to change the situation?
What happened was that I had a very nice teacher, and her name was Nina Cleveland. I still remember that. She wrote to me the 3 years that I was away in the camp. And so that's what a difference a teacher can make in your life.
I think the message that I would like to send is just that we are here to do something good, and I think that we can bring our experiences to do something good, and we're not here to, take jobs or do all this other stuff that's said in the media. So I think also growing up, realizing that you're not this bad person and you want to hold on to your culture, and then you want to use that to do something good.
More than anything, it's critical that everybody stands united and works together and not try to take care of their own, but stand in solidarity with one another. I think that is the most powerful weapon that all our communities have to combat some of the hatred that's going on in this country right now.
My name is Alan Jordan. I'm the chef around here. Barbecue, which is actually our specialty. The last 3 years we won first prize in the annual Black Cuisine. The lemon pepper, a lot of people do it, but they don't do it like we do it because we came up with our own spice blends and stuff like that. Everything you get here is pretty much original, and you won't find it anyplace else but here. My sister works here. I have some nieces and my wife. It's pretty much been family all along. In the 60s, when I was in elementary school, I started out cleaning up the place and stuff. And later on, I graduated into bartending, and my father taught me how to cook. They used to call this area Butcher Town. This is where most of all the slaughterhouses and tanneries and stuff, originated right here in this neighborhood. A lot of the cattle and stuff used to come through there and right down here on 3rd Street. The pictures keep up with pretty much the history of the place and the neighborhood. This was pretty much like a gathering place. A lot of decisions, community people used to come here. 2013, they made this place a landmark. So pretty much we try to keep the character that it had when it first opened. We opened in 1959. So it's been around a long time, and people pretty much identify with the decor of the place. And, like I say, by it being a historical landmark, we try to keep it consistent to what it was when we first opened. My kids, sisters and brothers, we all participated in, making this place happen, even up until now. Me and my sister and my wife and, our kids, nephews, nieces, all participate. So that's like ancestry, continuing on. History with the people that come through here right now today. Some of the people that come through here, their fathers and grandfathers and grandparents, visit this place. So, it's like our version of Cheers, where everybody know your name, everybody feels at home right here at Sam Jordan's.
So that was Zoom In 37. What do you think? Wasn't that amazing? Mind you, middle and high school students created that. Just think for a moment about the capacity and the talent of these young people in this room. Amazing, amazing. So my name is Alessandra Carter, and I have the honor of managing our youth and young adult programs here at Baycat. And this semester's theme was ancestry. And that was special to me because though I'm a Bay native, I just moved back from the East Coast last year. So I've been spending some time getting to know my own family and learn from them. So I really enjoyed working with the instructors and learning from the students about their own ancestry. So Zoom In 37. Sometimes I have to stop and remind myself as an educator that life isn't always about teaching, that it's also about learning. And I think that's probably been a theme that we've heard this semester, is that you really can't fully understand where you're going or who you are as a whole person without understanding where or whom you've come from. And I think that really shone through these pieces. Would you agree? Yeah, I think so. So to our Baycat youth, I hope you enjoyed this semester. I want to encourage you all and remind you that the summer term is coming up. It starts on June 12th. And to the Baycat families, hold on, shout out. Baycat families, are y'all here tonight? Let me hear you. Great. So since you are here, I'm going to talk to you guys too. Apply, 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 apply. We have lots of new students who are interested in taking the summer term. We want to make sure that we reserve enough spots for you all. So if you think that you want to take our classes this summer, where we are offering film and animation, please apply so I know you're interested. You know, I'm the one who receives all the applications. If there's any new students, new young people who want to try out Baycat this summer, come find me, ask me questions, talk to our instructors. We are all here to answer your questions, and we're really a big family, so please don't be shy to talk to us. So speaking of our instructors, I want to take a moment to bring up these talented human beings. So if you could please join me, Alex, Chelsea, Carla, Amber, come to the stage.
Hi, everyone. I am Chelsea Kigano. I am the TA for the beginning film class. These past few months have been remarkable. I think Alessandra said it perfectly when she said, as an educator, it's not all about teaching, but it's about learning. And I want to say thank you all to the youth and young people for teaching me so much about patience and about how to laugh. And how to be creative again, you guys. And thank you for letting me be a part of your journey.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm the advanced film instructor. I wanted to thank my students very much for my first term at Baycat, for being very supportive, for welcoming me, for being great collaborators, creative people, bouncing ideas. I had a lot of fun with you guys. Thank you for your support on set, even when things were stressful. We all held it together, and I had a really fun time with you guys. Along with my students, I wanted to thank the other instructors for your support, and the Academy team for being so welcoming here at Baycat. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Amber Yeda. I am the graphic arts animation teacher. Yeah! So, we have such a small crew of animators, so I get to put you all on the spot. In addition to having a very, quirky senses of humor, all of the animators have done some amazing accomplishments. So Iron, he did a whole 2.5-minute animation all by himself and composed the music. Pretty amazing. Ezra drew 20 faces. Actually, he did more. Some of them had to get cut out as, students weren't able to continue. But when you see the posters, he drew all of those. Those are original art, and he put together the poster. It's really incredible. Emmett is becoming our expert outro animator and is learning all the ins and outs of the software, and is getting to be really, he's really mastering it. And Isaiah, so he did the intro music and the outro music, which you might not have known, and he also animated a lot of the intro. And Tyson also did animation for the intro, and he came and showed up at Baycat after running track, like almost every day, and that was pretty amazing. So I just want to highlight them. A lot of times, thank you. A lot of times, animators are kind of behind the scenes, so just to shine a little light. And also, I want to shout out to Kwesi Wilkerson, who's here. He did a poetry workshop with our students to engage with this topic. And it means a lot to me. I think ancestors are the medicine for this time.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carla Orndorff. I'm the not-so-basic beginning film instructor. So I actually want to start off with a quote. We actually watched the movie Kubo and the Two Strings, and if you know me, I can't stop talking about it. But I wanted to start us off with that, if I can get my passcode. This would be the moment to forget your passcode. All right. All right, so Kubo is a storyteller, and he's an artist. And he's fighting the Moon King. It's the epic battle at the end of the film, and I won't give it away, but I will tell you this line. So the Moon King, as the Moon Beast, says, "Everything you have ever loved is gone. Everything you have ever known has been taken from you." Kubo, no, it's in the memories, the most powerful kind of magic there is. He strums the strings again and summons the spirits from the lanterns, much to the Moon Beast's anger. Kubo, it makes us stronger than you'll ever be. These are the memories of those we have loved and those we have lost. And if we hold their stories deep in our hearts, then you will never take that away from us. So really what stories are, if there's anything I've learned from this semester, are instructions from our ancestors. And ancestors can be both in the past and they're also in the present. There's a moment that I'll never forget, and I want to give a shout out to John and Sally, who were two of our interviews for the film Witness, an incredible film on immigration and the Japanese incarceration experience. And after that interview, the room expanded. It felt larger because of Sally telling her story and what she went through. And so I want to give a shout out to all of my students who are all in middle school for their grace, for their genius, for really being the ears and taking those stories in and making beautiful work out of it. Over the last year, I've seen you grow in so many ways. Some of you are taller. Some of you are taller than me now. Actually, most of you are taller than me now. But I've also seen your hearts expand, and in this class, really, we've learned so much about empathy and really being there for one another and sharing that story. So with that, I just want to say you've made me so proud, and I really, truly believe you've made your ancestors proud. And when you're rooted in that, when you know who you are and you know your story, nobody can take that away from you. So keep going.
Thank you. That was beautiful, Carla. Thank you so much. So I have a question. Would you like to get to know some of our media producers? Yes? Let's bring them to the stage. Do you want to start us off? When they get on the stage.
My name is Tita Mahmoud. I am 13 years old, and I am a cinematographer, producer, and a editor for the.
Hi, my name is De'Arian Curry Matthews. I am 17, and I am producer and editor.
My name is Elia Ronica. I'm 13 and I am the director.
My name is Yaneli Lopez. I am 14 and I am an editor.
My name is Cameron Padilla. I am 11 and I am an editor.
My name is Joshua Robinson. I am 12 years old. I am a cinematographer and an editor.
My name is Akil Carrillo. I am 13 and I'm a director.
My name is Isaiah Diaz Lopez and I'm an animator, graphic artist, and advanced music producer.
My name is Tyson Richardson. I'm 13 and I'm a graphic artist and animator.
My name is Maylee Brigham. I'm 14 and I'm a producer.
My name is Mingal. I'm 16 and I'm a filmmaker.
My name is Maceo Jordan Lee Carney. I'm 14 and I'm a director and an interviewer.
Hello, I'm Orion Moray. I'm 14. I'm a cinematographer and an editor.
Hi, I'm Muna Moray. I'm 12 and I'm an editor.
Hi, I'm Terrence Lessinger. I'm 16. I am a director.
Hi, I'm Vigo Williams. I'm 15 and I'm a filmmaker and editor.
Hi, my name is Emmett Foley. I'm 14 years old. I'm a graphic artist, animator, and a film producer. And
my name is Ezra Lux. I'm 15 and I'm a graphic artist.
Hi, my name is Iron Espino. I'm 16. I'm a graphic artist, animator, and music producer.
Hi, I'm Brianna Hughes, and I am a cinematographer and music producer as well. I am 13 years old.
Let us give it up to all the youth media producers. Wow. Woo-hoo. And you guys are all storytellers. I mean, that was amazing. This is our question and answer portion. I would love to see if you guys have any questions, and to get the party started, I'll start with the first, okay? So you guys think about it. So this was a big theme on ancestry, and the title is interesting, Seeds to Tree. Can somebody just talk about the creation of this title, okay? Who wants it? Okay, I got Isaiah and the M.
Okay, so basically seeds to tree means, so seeds is the ancestors and tree is who you are right now, and the roots are basically how all of this connects together and how it changes.
well, Isaiah sort of took my answer.
Talk about your outro, honey.
But I have to say that the seeds to tree represents, sort of the family tree we have right now. And, there's a lot of surprises. Well, there can be a lot of surprises that can come from that family tree.
That's the truth. Anybody else? Holding the mic. Anybody about the title? Okay. Do we have a question from the audience? Please stand up and shout it out, and I'll repeat it. Don't be shy. Okay, up at the balcony. I love it. Okay, then we'll come down here. Go. What was the most fun part of the making of all those? Ooh, that sounds like Oliver, our board member. Hi. Thank you for doing that. Okay, what was the most fun part of making the show?
I think the most fun part about making this whole entire Zoom in and the films in general is getting to know the interviewee and learn their story.
All right, let's pass the mic this way because Maceo has an answer too. We need 2 mics.
For me, the most fun part was directing, interviewing other people, making new friends, and editing.
Thank you. Anybody else want to take that? What was the most fun? No? Go. Oh, Iron, go for it. Yes, pass. Oh, Alessandra has a mic. Thanks, guys. We didn't practice this part. This was random.
I guess the most fun part for me was it being over, ironically. Yeah.
All right. I love it. Any other fun parts to share? Okay. You can see how we had fun at Big Hat. We had a question down here. Hey, Nina, what's up? You guys got that? You guys are great, big, creative storytellers. What else do you want to do with your own story to move it forward, right? And carry that out. So who wants to take it? Now there's 2 mics in the group, so go for it. Raise a hand. What do you want to do with your story? And by the way, there were a lot of personal stories in this one. Akil, Iron, you guys put it out there. If you want to say something about that, because it's hard to tell your own story. So I want to give it up to you guys. Anybody, go for it.
Well, I would just like to see my story flourish and develop through my lifetime so that I could continue to tell it and add on more parts to it as I grow.
Great, Maceo. Thank you.
I think that someone's story is an extremely personal thing, but and what I'd like to see with my story is for it to mature and expand itself, like a lot of storytelling does, thanks to newer technology and newer writing skills that we have created. And that's how I'd like to see a lot of people's stories go on.
Awesome, thank you. Iron, pass the mic to Iron and Brianna.
A way that I would like to see my story evolve is through music. I definitely am, I could say, obsessed with music as a person. And if I see so many personal stories evolve through singing, just creating your own beat to express emotions, that is definitely a way to easily get out the words you want to say.
Anybody else want to take that question? No? No? Okay, going. Do we have one more question in the audience? I think we have time. Yes, right down here. Go for it. So as you were doing this, did you feel more connected with your ancestors during this project? Thank you.
I think it inspired everyone who worked on the films to kind of ask people or people in your family about your ancestry. And I think it was really inspiring to see the films tonight, so yeah.
Anyone else? Okay. Grab the mic if you have something for that. It was, oh goodness, I forgot the question. Thank you. Help me? Oh, did it inspire you to ask about your own ancestors?
Well, yeah, definitely. It made me think harder on my ancestry because I had already known that there had been struggles and hard times, but it just made me definitely think more about how we were moved from many different places and moved from in the film it didn't make the cut, but it said that a lot of the black people here in San Francisco were from the South and they came over here to work or for a better life, and so that just made me really think on how deep my history goes.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Wait, can I hear the question again?
The question was, how did it inspire you to look into your own ancestry or talk to your relatives or people about it?
Well, it really inspired me to look into my ancestry, but it was also really cool because I learned about other people's ancestry, and like I didn't know a lot of the stuff that I learned, and so it connected me to my ancestors along with other people's.
Great, thank you. Go, Brianna.
I would say that it definitely helped me connect with my mother because when I told her that when I was doing back in the day, and we were involving old school music from jazz to blues, all the way to involving into hip hop, I would say she got very excited because a story I remember is when like old school music comes on in the car, your parents will never let you turn it off. And like, as soon as you listen to it a bunch of times, in your mind you're trying to make yourself feel like, oh my God, turn it off. But then you start like singing to it, and it reminds you of the past, and everything like evolve. It reminds you that it evolves into what we have now.
Yes, awesome. Anyone else on that question? Go, Emmett, go. How did it inspire you to look into your own ancestry?
You could say it sparked some interest in me. To be honest, I get interested in things as soon as I hear it from someone or some media, and I also like to comment on what you said earlier about the whole your parents won't let you turn off the music thing. And I think I can see why some of the newer generation and some of the older generation that grew up with the music would get sort of irritated by this. Because it's like nostalgia. It's a precious thing that you want to keep in, but you don't want. But if you make it too nostalgic, then it just becomes normal. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like you have. It doesn't feel like you can and reflect on anything. And this has been relative in a lot of things. Films, movies, video games, a lot of things. And for one, we can see why a lot of companies would like to keep the nostalgia. They either want it for money or they want to support their fans who love the stuff.
That's true. Thank you. Pass the mic to Isaiah.
Wait, what was the question?
How did it inspire for you to look into your own ancestry?
Oh, because of the music, yeah. Okay, because my family, they're all represented by music. They all connect themselves by their souls and music. So, like, music represents me. That's what I think of myself and my family. And because my family, their culture is very unique. And yeah.
Cool. So we're going to wrap it up here, but I just want to also give a shout out, I think, especially to the young, yeah, we'll drop the mic. We'll all drop all three mics. We won't do that, no. And by the way, I like the old school music. I like the nostalgia, yeah. No, but I just want to end on a note that these stories also brought out in you. I mean, many of you guys are still in middle school or high school, but the piece, and especially it was done by young women, on the immigration ban. Can you just talk about like how did the idea of ancestry bring up today's politics? I mean, that was big. So I know Yaneli, Brianna, you got to work on it, but we got some quiet ones in that group. Tita, you got to work on that. Ellie, were you in that one? Yes, I was. So maybe just say a few words of how did you bring up with what's happening in today's news? Why did that inspire you to tell that story?
Well, for me, when I see people like, well, you know, making fun of their race, it like, makes me think. It makes me think on like how back in the day when our ancestors were around, how they felt when they were the ones that, I don't know, it just gets me to think that when you're making fun of someone's race, it's not nice. Like, back in the day with our ancestors, they weren't making fun of anybody. They weren't. They were in their own world with their own people. Yeah.
Great. Anything else? Give it to Tita.
I think a lot of past generations had also felt really unsafe, and I think when they played the, what was it? When they were playing Witness. It was Witness. They were playing that, and they said that she said I've never really felt unsafe until this current administration, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. So yeah, I don't know.
I'm glad you told that story. Are we glad that they told that story? It was amazing. I want to wrap. Any final words from you guys? This is your shot. And you guys, I don't bite. I feel the audience going that way. Can you guys come back to me? Make sure you're in the light, because we're going to take a final picture after this. Any final words? One word to end? Anybody? Are you nostalgia? Is that what you're nostalgia? Is this going to be nostalgia for you? I think is the question. Any final word? Going. Let's give one more applause to these guys. If you were in the film or helped to make that happen, because you helped to make a phone call, can you please stand up? There's so many people. Please take a look at your program. Please do not be shy. Please stand up. Our subjects here. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. James and Linda, that was amazing. That was a narrative film, and that was very hard to do. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody, for making the show possible. We have a few board members here. Oliver, Shauna, Blake are here. We have many donors who are here from Bank of the West supporting us. I know our friends maybe from Autodesk are here. Many people who, hi guys. So, you know, it really does take the entire village, all of you guys, to help make this journey happen. And I hope today inspired you. Did it? We want our young people to close it out, because as you heard from them, they want this to continue. So it is your responsibility. We give you this gift. We give you these memories to take with you. And now we have Facebook and everything else, so you can share them, right? So this belongs to you now. This belongs to the world. Out there, online. Let's wave to the online audience and say good night. And I'd like to bring it back up to our hosts, Diorion, Brianna, and Yaneli. Come on up. Let's thank them. You guys.
I'd like to thank you guys for coming out to witness the film, and hope you enjoyed it.
Like us on Facebook.
And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.